Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the Truly Odd Podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I am your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's dive right on in. So last week for game news, we talked about Killing Floor 3 being delayed, and want to say right after we released our podcast, they released a statement on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, uh, stating the following. Now, forgive me, I'm going to read this. I am a bit dyslexic, so I may stutter from time to time, but here we go. Dear Killing Floor fans, we made the decision to postpone Killing Floor 3 launch to an undecided date later in 2025. After taking the time to gather and discuss feedback for our recent closed beta, we realized that we've missed the mark. Our goal isn't just to make Killing Floor 3 an ambitious step forward in the franchise, but also to maintain the core experience that we've come to know and love. With the full support of our partner company, BRAZRKR Group, we're working together on a timeline to address many of the common issues players had during the beta, including performance stability, UI UX, lighting, weapon feel. While it's too early to say which fix will be implemented by launch, we can confirm that allowing you that an update allowing you to independently select your perk class and character is planned for post-release. We look forward to another opportunity to show you a more polished version of Killing Floor 3, and when we're ready to share more details, you will be the first to know. Until then, thank you for your continued patience and overwhelming support. Sincerely, the Tripwire Interactive Development Team. So, this is really nice of them to release this statement, and I think this is a good thing. I didn't know they had a closed beta, and so I'm definitely happy that they took their fans' notes into consideration and decided to push the game. I do think it's a bit too soon, but it is, as I said, major changes are coming to the game. I'm curious what the performance issues were. So it's interesting how the game studio works. They basically call it a beta test, but it's not necessarily a beta test. It's damn near finished product, when people are playing the beta. And so what they want to usually test is performance based on connecting for multiplayer and things like that. But if a game like this has so many notes from the player community saying how bad it is, that's why they need to go back to the drawing board. In truth, if you were going to truly play the beta version of a game, this would have been fixed months ago. So this is just more beta for not necessarily beta testing the game, but beta testing the multiplayer aspects of the game, if that makes sense. If you want more details of that, I can break that down for you guys later on. But yeah, it's definitely big major changes that they need to change. I'm curious why they need to change the UI and UX and lighting, because I don't know, that just makes no sense to me. How is your UI and UX so bad that it needs to be changed? I guess they just maybe went a different way than the originals and they want to bring it back to what the original games were. I really don't know unless I see it for myself, but yeah, I'm happy that they pushed the game to later 2025. It might end up being probably early 2026, judging by what they've listed here as far as performance, UI, UX, lighting, and weapons. And I'm sure that this class-based system that they were saying with the perks, that's probably going to be something that they want to release the game with. Right now, they're saying it'll probably be a patch later on, but I'm assuming that they'll get to a point where they're going to want to put that in initially, especially if it was a big note from the players. But wow, what do you guys think? Do you think this was a good decision for the team to postpone Killing Floor 3? Are you sad? Are you happy about it? And let me know what you guys think down below. On to our next topic. New Battlefield Labs gameplay footage leaked. So I found this gameplay footage on Reddit. The link that I have in the description down below is just to the article discussing the footage that was released. I'll leave it up to you guys to find the footage. But yeah, this footage basically showed, it's decent graphics. It seemed to have nice destructive environments. the whoever was playing was dying quite a bit. I don't know if we all saw the same footage, but from the article I read, they were talking about how cool the destructive environments was. I only seen like maybe one good instance of environments being destructed. It was when the player got into a tank, ran into a building, and the building crumbled. But I didn't see, like, for example, I think Battlefield Bad Company had the best destructive environments in the Battlefield franchise. You know, if someone was on the top of a building or the top of a roof and you wanted to get them down and they were just camping, you could literally put C4 on all four sides of the wall and bring that building down on them and kill them. I don't think that the environments are that destructive here. And also, this is very, very alpha gameplay, so I wouldn't judge it based off of this leaked footage. You can tell that some of the weapon attachments weren't connecting properly. There was no skins, no textures on some of the tanks, and also some of the RPGs that they were using. So yeah, very, very pre-alpha footage. Whoever leaked this is probably in big trouble, because I can't imagine why they would leak this footage, especially if they were part of an alpha group or an early beta group. I don't know. That's very interesting. Unless the studio wanted it to be released so they can get the word out there that, you know, Battlefield Labs is coming, and wanted to kind of show some of the gameplay. But yeah, I am looking forward to Battlefield. Battlefield's probably one of my favorite shooters. I like it better than Call of Duty and most other shooters. So I'm looking forward to this, and I'm hoping that we get more destructive environments, because I would like to be able to take down buildings, kind of how we used to in Battlefield Bad Company 2. But yeah, that's just how I feel. What do you guys think? Have you taken a look at the leaked footage? Does this interest you? Are you excited for the new Battlefield game? Let me know what you guys think. On to topic number 3. Respawn has quietly canceled a multiplayer FPS project. So, if you don't know Respawn, they made the Titanfall games, and they are working with EA. Wait, is that the Titanfall people? I'm going to double check that real quick. I want to give you guys false information. Let's see. Titanfall. Who's the developer? Yeah, Respawn Entertainment. Okay, cool. I was right. And Electronic Arts. Yeah, so anyways, Respawn was the team that brought us Titanfall. And yeah, so they seem to have canceled a project. They said it's a FPS incubator project. I don't know what that means, incubator project. I've never heard that term. Let's see if we can find that out together. If you guys know what it is, please let me know. An inclusive project, or refer the project that helps new business local and data sharing. Yeah, I don't know what an incubator project is for an FPS game, but you know, EA has been doing quite a bit of layoffs. They've laid off a lot in the last years. They've restructured their studios, and Respawn just seems to be another studio that has been hit with the layoffs for the game industry in the past couple of years. So it makes sense that this project's been canceled. I don't know how far along they were. That they probably haven't even announced it. I'll just be really sad if I find out later on that this was a Titanfall project, because I think that they could definitely utilize Titanfall in a way that would be wonderful. I would like this team to work with the Battlefield team. As I was talking to my friend earlier today, when I told him about this game being canceled, he said, "Oh, I hope that team goes and joins the Battlefield team, because they did so great with Titanfall." And I think that would be a wonderful idea to bring these guys over and do that. But we'll see what ends up happening with this game, or not this game, with this team. I just really hope that they restructure their company in a way that benefits the players and benefits the developers, so we can get good games going forward and not worry about all these layoffs anymore. They just keep coming and coming. On to topic number 4. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach release date trailer. So the release date for Death Stranding 2 is now June 26, 2025. And, the first Death Stranding game, I'm not going to lie, I talked a lot of shit about that game. I was saying how it is a walking simulator, While the acting looked phenomenal, the graphics looked phenomenal, it just wasn't a game for me. I didn't even buy the game. I did play it at whose house was it? I think it was at my friend's house, where I had to walk and deliver packages. I'm like, oh god, this is just a glorified walking simulator with some action here and there and so often. But man, this trailer. So the job of a trailer, the job of any trailer, is to get a player's excitement level and bump it up. And oh my god, this got me very excited for this game. I wasn't even interested. This game wasn't even on my radar, honestly. I knew about it, of course, but I just didn't really care about it. But after watching this trailer, it made me want to go back and play the first game because it just looks so epic, so awesome, and a lot of fun. The music was phenomenal. I mean, I would like it's like a 10-minute trailer. I would call it a short film at this point, and absolutely just super fucking awesome, wonderful trailer. And yeah, I might have to. I'm gonna probably wait till the first Death Stranding gets like on sale or on PlayStation Plus for free before I actually make any purchases or make any decisions. But man, what a great trailer! Great actors. It just looks so good. And whoever's a fan of the Death Stranding games, I can't imagine how ecstatic they are right now with this trailer. So yeah, if you haven't looked at it, I have a link to the YouTube video in the description down below. I highly recommend you take the time to look at this trailer, and it looks just like a lot of fun. On to our last topic for games today: rumored Gears of War collection. So if you haven't heard, there's a rumor that Xbox will be announcing a Gears of War collection, kind of like how they have the Master Chief collection. But it seems like this one is rumored to be coming to the PS5 on day one. This makes a lot of sense if this rumor is true, because it seems a lot of Xbox projects are probably coming to the PS5 this year from the things that I've heard, especially Forza Horizon. That's probably a big one. And, if we get Gears of War on the PS5 and we get Halo on the PS5, then I would say goodbye to the Xbox as we know it. The next generation will probably be their last generation if that's the case, unless they do really good in sales. But I don't see how they're going to do good in sales if they're not making exclusive games to make people buy their console. But, that's just me complaining again about how Xbox is handling their situation. But back to Gears of War. I think this is great. I really do think they should do a collection. Gears of War is a very, very popular franchise. And to have the trilogies be remastered and, remade for the players would be great. Also, another part of this article was saying that it was not going to have any multiplayer. So I'm sure a lot of fans will be upset about that. But honestly, for me, Gears of War is more about the story and the campaign. So I'm excited to just play through the campaign, especially if I get to play it on my PS5. That would be pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm hoping this rumor ends up being true, but like any rumor, we'll have to wait and see. So take everything you hear about it with a grain of salt, and don't expect it to be true. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, as I like to say all the time. And that does it for our gaming topics today, guys. We're moving on to our movie news topics. And the first topic of the day is that we're going to break down the weekend box office. So our top 5 box office movies of this past weekend are Mickey 17 at 19.1 million, Captain America Brave New World at 8.5 million, Last Breath at 4.2 million, The Monkey at 3.9 million, Paddington and Peru at 3.85 million. And so let's delve a little bit deeper into Captain America Brave New World before we talk about Mickey 17. So Captain America Brave New World worldwide is looking at $370.7 million. And yeah, I'm thinking this is probably going to get to the $400 million mark. It might get to the... I'm just hoping it passes Black Adam, which I think was a $390 million mark. Because, this movie, while it wasn't the best, it was decent for what it was, even though it needed a lot more to improve. So it'd be nice to just get to at least the $400 million mark. I'm sure the studio would be happy with that. But yeah, it's looking like it's slowing down. So definitely going to be a loss for the studio. I wouldn't call it a bomb, but they're definitely taking a loss on this movie for sure. Now, Mickey 17 worldwide currently has $53.3 million. in its first week of release. Now I don't know if how when it released internationally, it could have been a couple weeks, but this is what we're seeing globally at the moment. Now this is a bit disappointing for Warner Brothers. I'm sure Bong Joon Ho has made some great films, and this one was an okay film. Like I said, I gave it a 6 out of 10, so right in the middle of the road. I wouldn't say it's a bad film. I wouldn't say it's a great film, but it was good. It was okay for what it was. But yeah, so this movie was I want to say the budget was 119 million if I remember that correctly. So yeah, it's looking to be a loss for the studio unless word of mouth gets out and people come in droves over the next couple weeks to check this movie out. But there seems to be quite a lot of competition coming up this month, so it might get lost in the shuffle. So yeah, sad for Mickey 17 to lose out on that money. The other one I would like to talk about is The Monkey, actually, which was a lower budget horror comedy film. And worldwide, it's at 45 million. Now, I don't know what the budget of this was. I haven't really looked into it, but I think this is pretty good for this little horror movie. I'm sure that the studio is very happy with what it's done so far. $31 million just domestically itself. Internationally, I don't think it's opened up in all the markets, but I'm looking at 14.7 million so far. So it's just gonna grow as it gets released internationally and everything. So yeah, good job for the studio, and I'm sure that they're proud of this movie. All right, guys, moving on to our next topic. You season 5 trailer was launched about 5 hours ago, and it was a nice little teaser trailer. I don't know why they call it a trailer. I would just call it a teaser because I think there was probably another trailer that I missed because this says this is number 2 or so yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that go how that works out for them. But yeah, this was just a nice little teaser. It's showing him where he's currently at in his life with the girl from last season that he ended up with. He's rich and he's successful, and you can tell he's kind of breaking from the filmmaking that they did for this trailer. How he's kind of like shaky and it's kind of a bit wonky and you're not really sure what's going on with him. But yeah, decent trailer. I've enjoyed the show You so far. I've enjoyed You so far. Sorry. I've enjoyed You so far, so I'm definitely looking forward to season 5. And I'm hoping it's as good as the previous seasons. This might be the last season. I'm not sure if they've said that or not, but Netflix doesn't tend to go longer than 3 seasons usually, so I'm assuming this might be the last one. We'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, did you guys check out this trailer? Are you interested in seeing You season 5? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. On to our next topic, number 3. James Cameron says the next Avatar film will be the longest one yet. Oh man, that's going to be a very long movie because the first movie came in at around 2 hours and 42 minutes for its runtime. And then The Way of Water came in at around 3 hours and 12 minutes. So very long movies. And from this article that I read in Deadline, which I'll have in the description down below, James Cameron was saying that he felt like The Way of Water was like a bullet train, going through a lot of the stories and characters, and you didn't really have time to get in depth with them. So that interests me as well because I thought that movie was a bit too long. I thought you could have cut at least 30 minutes out of that movie. So that's crazy to say. Not saying that The Way of Water was bad. I really enjoyed it. I saw it, I think, 2 or 3 times in theaters, so not saying I was wasting my time. I think he also in this article compared it to people binge watching shows for 8 hours. So yeah, it looks like he's now looking to make the 4 hour runtime possibly come back with an epic story that's told. And I would never ever doubt James Cameron. I can't name one movie in his filmography that is bad. Maybe his first ever directing debut, which was Piranha 2, I think, or Piranha 3D, one of those ones. But every other movie that he has directed has been phenomenal, from Terminator to True Lies, Terminator 2, Avatar, Titanic. He's just a phenomenal director, so I would not doubt him. And you know what? I think it's time for the epic to come back. What is it? I saw Lawrence of Arabia on a plane. It was a 4 hour movie. What a great movie. Great characters, great storytelling. It came out, all the way back in the 60s, 70s. I don't know when that came out, but what a great, wonderful movie. So yeah, I'm totally cool with James Cameron making a 4 hour movie. It is a bit long and a bit ridiculous, especially when he's saying that he felt like he was running through the way of water like a bullet train. But who knows? If a movie's told right and the story is great, you'll sit there for 4 hours and it'll feel like you were there for two. If especially if you're invested in all the characters, like a lot of us are when we watch TV shows. So yeah, what do you guys think? Are you hoping that the next Avatar installment is 4 hours? Are you hoping for less? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm thinking it's going to be 3.5, but we'll see what ends up happening there. Our next topic of the day: Justin Lin to team up with Keanu Reeves on gritty action movie BRAZRKR. Sorry about that. So, if you haven't heard of BRAZRKR, it is a comic book or a graphic novel created by Keanu Reeves and written by I can't remember the writer's name, but Keanu Reeves is also a writer on it. It's his story, and it's a good comic. I think it was on New York Times bestseller list at some point, and it's sold over. I think when it was released, it sold over 600,000 copies, and so far it's sold a couple, like 3 million or something, in its since its release. So what a great team up. If you haven't heard of Justin Lin, he's the person that brought you the Fast and Furious franchise. He's the one that got it to be a $1 billion franchise. He's a phenomenal director. He's a bit over the top when it comes to some of the Fast and Furious stuff, but I mean, that's just that franchise. I think he can bring a great direction to this BRAZRKR movie. And of course, this is going to be starring Keanu Reeves, which is awesome because he's going to be starring as a character he created, so no one can incorporate and encapsulate this character better than he can. He knows the backstory. He knows how he wants this character to be portrayed, so it's great that he's going to be portraying the character that he created. And yeah, if you haven't checked out the BRAZRKR comic, I highly recommend it. I read some of it. I didn't read all of it, but from what I read, it's good. This character is like a half god, half mortal, and he's been living for thousands of years, and he teams up with the US government to take on the jobs that no one else will take on. So yeah, typical, crazy badass storytelling, badass character. So I recommend it, and I can't wait for Justin Lin to get going with this movie for Keanu Reeves. And also, if you hadn't heard, Justin Lin just did a movie called oh my god, what was it called? Let me tell you real quick. See, this is why I like having the computer next to me. Justin Lin, Last Days. He just did a movie called Last Days, which I don't think has been released into theaters, but he showed it at, I think it was Cannes Film Festival or a film festival in January of 2025. So I'm not sure when that's going to be widely released, but yeah, that was the most recent film that he did. And during the production of that, he thought he had funding for the film, and he was ready to go. A lot of the actors were already preparing for the roles, and then he lost the funding, or someone just backed out at the last moment. Keanu Reeves ended up contacting him and saying he wanted to help to get his movie made, and so I'm sure he's very grateful to Keanu Reeves for that, helping him get the movie made. And because of that, I'm sure he's going to put a lot of his heart and soul into the Berserk movie. I love it when, just good people work together and help each other to be successful and to succeed, and they bring the best work out of each other, and I'm sure they want to help each other to be, the best that they can. So I think that's going to make Berserk an even better project at the end of the day. Moving on to our last topic of the day. Reacher's Alan Ritchson says he would play Batman for free. So, Alan Ritchson has been rumored to be playing Batman for quite some time. Now, I think James Gunn knocked those rumors down, saying that no, he's not cast to be playing Batman, and he probably won't be playing Batman. But it hasn't stopped fans from trying to push for him to be Batman. Now he's if you haven't seen the Jack Reacher series on Amazon, I highly recommend it. Alan Ritchson is just big, buff, and awesome actor. Cool. He's not a thespian, he's not a Shakespeare actor or anything like that, but he gets the job done, and he can hold the franchise as he's shown with this Reacher series that he has on Amazon. So it would be nice. I would enjoy him being cast as Batman. And of course, he says he'll play Batman for free. He'll probably pay James Gunn to play Batman. And I'm sure he was, just being facetious and joking with the interviewer here. But, it just goes to say like how important it is for actors to want to get such important roles. And this would be a wonderful role for him. But I personally think James Gunn already has his Batman in mind. So it'll probably be sad, but I'm hoping that Alan Richardson could have somewhere else to join in the DC universe. Maybe in Aquaman. He did play Aquaman on Smallville, if I remember correctly, and he's played some other superhero characters in some of the DC shows. So it'd be nice to get him in there somehow. But yeah, I just thought this was really fun that Alan Richardson's playing around with the fans, hoping for him to get cast, and just throwing it out there that he'd play the role for free to possibly up his chances of getting the role. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you like Alan Richardson's comment? I do have the article down below if you want to see what his comments were. And yeah, I just think he would be a phenomenal Batman. In a perfect world, the fans would get what they want, but he probably will not end up being our Batman. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who do you think will be our Batman? Are you hoping for anyone in particular? We don't have Ben Affleck no more, and we don't have our Superman no more. It's going to be all new characters. Personally, I don't have anyone in mind that I can think of at the moment, and I'm sure that when they announce who it is, it'll probably be someone that I probably haven't heard of or is a big name, but just someone I would not have thought of. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast. So thank you so much for joining. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. And remember, until then, stay true, be odd.